aromas. Mexican authorities have begun constructing temporary shelters in anticipation of mass U.S. deportations.
San Diego's trusted news source. Weeknights starting at 4 on KPBS. Today's programs are made possible by the members of KPBS and our program underwriters.
Welcome to Wesley Palms, a front porch retirement community nestled atop Mount Soledad with sweeping views of Mission Bay. This community features apartment or patio home living, spread across 35 acres of mature trees, eco-friendly landscaping, and walking paths designed to inspire wellness and an active lifestyle. Here, every day is an opportunity to move, connect, and enjoy life to the fullest. Learn more at wesleypalms.org.
You're watching KPBS. Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Trebas Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi, and we begin tonight with some breaking news. 5 people are dead after a shooting today at the largest mosque in San Diego. The shooting at Islamic Center of
so that you understand exactly what we were responding to,
what in the area to lock down. And we have live team coverage, but for right now, we're going to take it over to the press conference that is currently underway.
Community. We're one city, and we're one community. As police chief, I am grateful that we have police officers and sheriff's deputies from throughout this county that dropped what they were doing and didn't do just what they were trained to do. They did what we hired them to do, to step into harm's way, to be willing to run towards gunfire, to protect people they don't even know. And so with that, thank you for your patience, and we will be back out in the days ahead with more information. Thank you.
My name is Taha Hassan. I'm the Imam and the Director of the Islamic Center of San Diego. All what I can say at this moment is that my community is mourning. My community is mourning. This is something that we have never expected to take place. But at the same time, the religious intolerance and the hate, unfortunately, that exists in our nation is unprecedented. All of us, we are responsible for spreading the culture of tolerance, the culture of love. All of us, we are responsible from whatever position we have as parents, as media people, as elected officials, as law enforcement, as religious leaders. All of us, we can do something to protect our nation, to protect our society. And please, I have one request to the media. Stop sharing the picture of the victims. I heard that there is a picture of an uncovered body going on. Please respect the privacy of the families and stop sharing these kind of pictures, please. Let the families mourn. Let them pray, as we do always at the Islamic Center of San Diego. It's a house of worship, it's not a battlefield. Come on. People come to the mosque to pray, to socialize, to celebrate, to enjoy their time together. Muslims and non-Muslims alike, everyone have been always welcomed. Our doors are always welcomed. We never ask people when they show up at the door of the Islamic Center, we never ask them whether you are a Muslim or not, who are you? Because everyone is welcome. So let's do our best to spread this culture of love and tolerance and sympathy for the sake of this nation, for the sake of the future generation.
All of our world
Thank you so much.
are based in love.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all that we have for right now. We will be doing Spanish separately. Give us a minute.
Yes, and that was the press conference. Community leaders are expressing gratitude after no children were harmed during the shooting. KPBS reporter Katie Anastas is live with that part of our story. Katie.
Maya, Bright Horizon Academy is a kindergarten through third grade school that's located inside the Islamic Center of San Diego. You just heard from Imam Taha Hassan. He's the director of the center, and he shared this message on Instagram earlier this afternoon.
Alhamdulillah, we are safe. The entire school is safe. All the kids, all the staff, and the teachers are safe.
And I tell you what got me. Watching the kids come running out. Just thankful to be alive.
Diego Police Chief Scott Wall. Several other schools were also put on lockdown today because of this shooting. There are 4 elementary and middle schools within about a mile of the center, and there are several others just about a mile away. And in a statement, the Council on American Islamic Relations said, quote, "No one should ever fear for their safety while attending prayers or studying at an elementary school." Katie.
Well, that was Katie Anastas, and now we're going to go to John Carroll. John?
The guy's name, the last guy who spoke from the mosque.
And she began to share information that several of her weapons were missing. Her vehicle was missing, in addition to her son. She also said that her son was with a companion, and that they were dressed in camo, and that is not consistent with what we would typically see from somebody that is suicidal. That began to trigger a larger threat assessment picture. Our threat management unit began to take the tips and leads that we had and utilize the technology we have available to us. Our license plate readers was at the top of that list.
And that was San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall in the press conference that just wrapped up, explaining how the events unfolded this morning. The San Diego City Council's meeting has been adjourned following today's shooting. The council had scheduled a special session at 6 o'clock tonight for people to weigh in on Mayor Todd Gloria's revised city budget. The latest proposal found additional revenue sources to help preserve some library and recreation center hours. But arts would still face major cuts. The special session is expected to be rescheduled. And we will be following this breaking news and bring you any new developments as they come in. You can also stay up to date online on our website at kpbs.org.
Tonight, a little cooler out there, some dropping into the 40s. We're looking at 45 in Ramona, 49 Escondido, about 58 degrees into San Diego. Campo and Mount Laguna down to 43 tonight. And we have a nice day in store for Tuesday. It won't be as windy as it was over the weekend. Temperatures very comfortable and will be dry. In a little bit, we'll take a look at temperatures trending downward and then upward through the next 5 days. So stick around. We'll have your complete forecast, but we're staying dry for a bit. Quick preview into tomorrow.
The Imperial Regional Detention Facility in Calexico is one of 8 ICE detention centers in California. It is widely considered a for-profit operation, and that's because ICE relies on a private prison company to run the facility. But Imperial Valley reporter Corey Suzuki found that who actually owns the facility is more complicated.
These are original doors, and these are the original signs that are up here. So we've done a little bit of job restoring them.
I'm at a small theater building in Brawley, in northern Imperial County. It feels like it's been empty for years. The walls are bare and peeling. The floor is covered in dust and pigeon droppings. At the back of the building, part of the ceiling is missing, revealing a band of blue sky.
The next phase of this project is to build the stage and then put in the roof above it.
That's Tim Kelly. By the end of the year, he says, this historic theater will be renovated and open for business. Kelly is a founder and board member of a local nonprofit called the Brawley Community Foundation, which owns the theater. He says the foundation was created to improve downtown Brawley by acquiring old buildings, renovating them, and using the money to buy other properties.
And if our mission is to improve the economy of the region and create jobs and generate taxes, we'll look at different strategies.
But downtown buildings aren't the only properties that the Brawley Community Foundation has invested in. Records obtained by KPBS show the foundation is also the owner of the Imperial Regional Detention Facility, a federal immigrant detention center, which sits about 20 miles to the south. The facility is run by Management and Training Corporation, a private company based in Utah. The company has been accused in court records and other complaints of abuses, like providing undercooked food and holding people in solitary confinement. Allegations ICE denies. Federal inspectors have also found the facility violated ICE's own standards for medical care. Since President Trump's return to power, 2 people have died after experiencing health crises there. According to the records we obtained, the foundation has been closely involved with the detention center since the beginning.
I think we look at opportunities that are going to create jobs and generate taxes that are going to benefit our community, and that's what this did.
Kelly says his charity's ownership of the detention center is a community benefit because of the jobs it brings to Imperial County, a majority Latino region with one of the highest unemployment rates in the state. But that's not what Christian Salgado thinks. She's with the Imperial Liberation Collaborative, a local immigrant rights group.
I don't see the detention center as a community benefit at all. I don't think the jobs that come out of it really outweigh the harm that it creates.
Experts on nonprofits say the foundation's ownership of the detention center is unusual. Jeff Green leads the California Association of Nonprofits.
I can give you a personal opinion and say that, that does not sound to me like a charitable purpose.
The foundation's nonprofit status means it's gotten better interest rates on loans. This is because of something called the municipal bond market, a special marketplace where state and local governments go to get loans for big projects like roads and bridges.
That market, over time, has kind of developed to also serve some private entities. And, one of the key groups that can borrow through this municipal bond market are nonprofit organizations.
Todd Ely is a professor at the University of Colorado, Denver. He says nonprofits have special access to tax-exempt bonds in particular, which have lower interest rates.
It really is a cost savings benefit that accrues right to the borrower.
Those bonds aren't the only benefit. Records obtained by KPBS show the foundation has also used its nonprofit status to apply for a special tax break called the welfare exemption. That's typically reserved for charities, along with hospitals, scientific research, and houses of worship. State and county officials have awarded those tax breaks since 2016, excusing the foundation from paying at least $6 million in property taxes on the detention center property. To Salgado, this arrangement is confusing and unsettling.
It is upsetting to know that, these I would refer to them as loopholes, were kind of being exploited.
Green, the Association of Nonprofits leader, also questions whether the foundation should be getting these tax breaks.
It sounds to me like they made the argument to the county assessor that detaining people in an ICE facility is a public benefit of some kind. For better or for worse, that goes into local politics.
Tomorrow, we'll take a closer look at who decides who counts as a charity in California. In Brawley, Corey Suzuki, KPBS News.
And part 2 tomorrow. If you have a tip for KPBS's investigations team, you can send an email to investigations@kpbs.org or message them on our secure signal line at the number on your screen, 619-594-8177. At this time, we want to get back to our breaking news. 5 people are dead after a shooting at Islamic Center of San Diego. KPBS reporter John Carroll is live now with an update. John.
Maya, the news conference started before Evening Edition started, so I wanted to update our viewers on some of what Police Chief Scott Wall said prior to that moment. Earlier today, we understood that the shooting part of this incident started at around 11:40 a.m. right there at the Islamic Center of San Diego. As you can see behind me, we're very close by. The 805 freeway is right over there. We're in Lindbergh Park. What we learned earlier from the chief is that this actually all started at around 9:30 this morning when the mother of one of the 2 suspects called the San Diego Police Department and said that she was very concerned about her son, that he had taken her car, that he had taken several weapons from the house, and that she believed he was with a friend of his. As that information came into SDPD, it began to raise their threat assessment. They started using technology available to them like license plate readers. They at one point got some hits in Fashion Valley. They sent officers over there. They were not able to find them, and sadly it was not long after that that they got the calls of the shots fired here at the Islamic Center of San Diego, the largest Islamic center in all of San Diego County with about 5,000 people here as members. The police got over here within 4 minutes of those calls, according to the chief, and when arriving officers first walked toward the building, they found 3 people, 3 adults dead outside of the center, one of them being a security guard. And I asked the chief if there was any gunfire exchanged between the security guard and either of the suspects. He said he wasn't sure about the gunfire, but he did characterize it as the security guard definitely helped save lives today. Obviously, for some reason, the gunman either could not get into the mosque or they decided for some other reason to leave. He says they then got in their car, drove around this neighborhood, and found a landscaper working and fired at him. Whether he was hit or not, we're not sure, but if he was not injured, and he's going to be okay. Of course, there's a lot more reporting to be done on this. We will keep you all up to date across our KPBS platforms, but for now, live in Claremont, John Carroll, KPBS News. Maya.
Thank you, John, for providing those details for us. The California Republican Party is reprimanding one of its own assembly members and 2026 candidates. Carl DeMaio distributed his own version of an endorsement list he called the, quote, official Republican voter guide. In a letter sent Friday, General Counsel for the state GOP demanded DeMaio cease and desist from distributing his guide. They called it, quote, a calculated deception of California's Republican voters, and it will not be tolerated, end quote. DeMaio's website currently includes clarification that the guide is his. A spokesperson for the group distributing the guide accused the state Republican Party of unfairly attacking DeMaio. The onslaught of political advertising is a hallmark of election season. For this week's edition of Why It Matters, Voice of San Diego Scott Lewis explains how traditional ad formats, like mailers, can be used in dubious ways.
One of the most interesting political races in San Diego this cycle is the race for District 2 of the San Diego City Council. Like most races, the candidates and independent groups will fill voters' mailboxes with these mailers. I love mailers. Consultants, interest groups, and others do so much research and polling, and they concentrate everything they learn into the simplest, sometimes most outrageous possible messages and images. And they do it just to make voters feel something right before they vote. Sometimes they even try to mess with you. They may send a voter who they think hates guns a mailer touting a candidate's support for firearms, for example. That's a way to send a negative mailer that actually looks like it's positive. We'll use this race in District 2 to help you follow a little bit of what's going on. Here's candidate Josh Coyne. He has said he is frustrated with the way that the city implemented the new fee for trash service, but he hasn't said he's against it or that he supports repeal of it. This mailer, though, says he is unequivocally opposed to, quote, trash fees for San Diegans already facing hardships and concerns due to our city's rising cost of living. That was not his mailer, though. That's a mailer funded largely by the Laborers International Union of North America, or LIUNA Local 89. One of Coyne's opponents is Richard Bailey, who has made his campaign largely about opposing the trash fee. You can see one of his mailers, which looks a lot like New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani's logo. But we got another mailer saying he's far from a socialist like Mamdani and actually really MAGA, quote, really pro-gun, and really into RFK Jr. That mailer was paid for by a group called the Working Families Opposing Richard Bailey for San Diego City Council. That group is sponsored by the Democratic Party and the building trades unions. There's one surefire way to stop mailers from coming to your house. Send your ballots in. Once campaigns see that you have voted, they largely stop sending you mailers. For Voice of San Diego, I'm Scott Lewis, and that's why it matters.
Voice of San Diego is one of our partners for the Public Matters Initiative. You can learn more at kpbs.org/publicmatters. Do you know how to get rid of hazardous material like motor oil and needles? How about what to do with non-recyclable plastics so they don't end up in the landfill? This week, KPBS is bringing you stories about San Diegans who say the climate crisis motivated them into action. KPBS environment reporter Tammy Murga says a local hotline is helping people dispose of their unwanted waste properly.
Thank you for calling I Love a Clean San Diego. May I please?
Sometimes you just want a real person to pick up the phone and answer your questions.
For motorcycle parts or automotive parts, we have a place called Ramona Auto Dismantling.
Priscilla Dioquino is a real person. She's the voice on the other end of the busy Waste Free SD hotline. It's managed by the nonprofit I Love a Clean San Diego. She answers thousands of calls every year from people all over San Diego County.
I've had questions about human hair, if that could go into the organics bin, and I was surprised to find out it can.
Most of their calls are about household hazardous waste. She searches the public database on the nonprofit's website and lets callers know where and how to properly dispose of everything from paint to needles and even liquor.
I'm returning a call for Kathy about the liquor. So I did get word from the county that you can dispose of it at the household hazardous waste facility. So did you want me to schedule you an appointment there?
The hotline has been taking calls from people since the 1970s. The first calls were about Christmas tree recycling, and 20 years ago, they were about phone books.
Everyone got a new phone book every year, sometimes two, yellow and white pages, and people didn't know could they recycle them, and back then curbside recycling wasn't a thing.
Steve Morris is the executive director of I Love a Clean San Diego. He says waste disposal has become more challenging as California's recycling and organics mandates have expanded.
Like, I have a plastic bottle number 7. Can I put this in my blue bin? Do I need to take it to a special facility? Can it be recycled at all? I mean, these are questions that I know San Diegans ask on a daily basis.
Morris says connecting people to local waste facilities is helping keep tens of thousands of items out of crowded landfills each year. For Dioquino, reducing waste became a lifestyle. She knew she wanted to earn a living helping others do the same.
I really like this organization, and I was like, these are my people. I really want to work here.
If you have waste disposal questions, visit wastefreesd.org. Tammy Murga, KPBS News.
We have a nice stretch coming up here. Temperatures trending downward gradually into midweek. Winds are diminishing after a very windy weekend, especially up in the mountains and the canyons, and some of the passes were especially blustery and windy through the weekend. But we're turning a little cooler And over the next several days, we'll go through this rhythm of morning clouds and afternoon sunshine. Tonight, though, mainly clear skies, 58 for your low near the coast and in San Diego. And a really nice Tuesday setting up for us here. We're going to be dry across the region, relatively cool into the area around the Colorado Rockies and areas east. We're going to be still very comfortable, not necessarily cool yet, but we're trending downward into Wednesday. So 72 your expected high in Chula Vista and San Diego, 74 into Oceanside. Will be around 83 on Tuesday afternoon in Ramona. Borrego Springs still warm, 89. And Wednesday a little cooler. This is probably one of the coolest days of this spell here before we begin to ramp back up in a bigger way, moving forward deeper into the dry season. Showers are out there into the Rockies and parts of the plains behind that severe weather episode. And then we begin to turn warmer on Thursday and Friday. A warming trend begins to set up shop. Still, any precipitation far from us into the plains, the Rockies, and way up to the north, so the dry season is beginning to show its hand. Coastal forecast here, we're cooling down a bit into Wednesday, 73, then back into the mid-70s for Thursday. Temperatures do cool down a bit more for the coast. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine in through the weekend. Let's go one step inland here, and here you can see we're going to be in the upper 70s for the next several days. A hint of cooling into Friday and Saturday. That Wednesday cool down won't be as dramatic in areas just inland. You may feel it a little bit more for the coast. So it's nice weather here, mid to upper 70s, nice, comfortable. Into the mountains here, you're going to feel more of temperatures fluctuating, upper 50s, low 60s, relatively cool though, and a good deal of sunshine. We're going to ramp back up into Saturday here, and as we take you into the deserts, temperatures in the upper 80s for Tuesday, 92 for Wednesday, low 90s, a little bit of an escalation in temperature into Saturday. Good deal of sunshine out there, but nothing out of hand when it comes to the heat in the deserts quite yet. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
I'm Jeff Bennett. Tonight on the News Hour, the Justice Department creates a massive fund for people who say they were unfairly targeted by previous administrations. That's at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
We want to recap the breaking news that we've been following all day. 5 people are dead following a shooting in Claremont near the Islamic Center of San Diego. The call came in a little after 11:30 this morning. San Diego police say 3 victims, all adults, were found dead outside of the center, which includes a mosque and a school. A short time later, in the same neighborhood, police say they found a vehicle with 2 teenagers inside, both dead from apparent self-inflicted wounds. Police say they are working with the FBI to determine a motive. For now, they say they are treating this as a possible hate crime. And you can find all of tonight's stories and updates on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Enjoy your evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following: and by viewers like you. Thank you. Tomorrow at 8, visit 5 cities from Roadshow's celebratory 30th season. Then learn about a castle built on the bay 100 years ago. And later, Tijuana's Jazz Festival and unique tacos on Crossing South. That's tomorrow on KPBS.
The American Revolution is usually described as a heroic struggle taking place on American soil, but that's only half